game to go to. This is one of those games you'll enjoy and remember your whole life. I mean, the highlights, you'll remember where you were. Something special is going to happen tonight. Trust me.
So let's take a look at the Charlotte starting lineup. Walker and Batum teaming up in the backcourt. MKG and Williams are the forwards. And it's Howard in at the center filling out the middle. And the Celtics with possession here. Got to keep rolling here following the win against Memphis.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And I feel like the defense was one step behind all night. I mean, they never made the adjustments to string together a few stops.
Just 4 to shoot. Shot on the wing, and the basket by Horford. Horford's got the game going with his first points of the game for Boston.
How about Horford there showing the jump shot? More of a set shot, really, but at his size, he can get it off.
Off the pick. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, you rarely get to see a player like Batum who has such a dynamic game at the shooting guard spot. He's one of the best rebounders at his position and defenders. Terrific passer and a very unselfish player.
And he's got his first free throw of the game.
Yeah, he's at 81% from the line, and when we've had a chance to see him, he's had great form and continues to look confident.
Free throw good, Nicholas Batum. And with Batum, he is one of the elite rebounding guards, no doubt. A large part of that is because of his height and length as a shooting guard.
Well, Batum is listed as 6'8", but he has a wingspan of a condor. I mean, his wingspan is reported at 7'4". Just an all-around great player who gives you so much when he's on the floor.
Second free throw, no good.
Well, that is because Batum is one of the most versatile players in the league. His ability to score from any spot, pass, rebound, and defend, that's what makes him so unique and important.
Shoots from the line. No good from Irving. On defense, the Celtics. Walker with it. Guarded now by Irving. And a miss there on the triple. Here's Boston now. Here's Tatum. Dwight Howard pulls it in. And so here's Charlotte. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
And with the type of defense they played that day, they were able to cause a lot of mistakes.
Incredibly disruptive on that end of the floor. Got up in guys' shirts, jumped in the passing lane. It was wild.
And setting the tone early with a strong move to the rack.
Well, you like to see a little more physical nature on defense. You have to make him earn those points at the stripe.
And that one hits back iron.
Pretty high percentage look with the D playing off. Just couldn't knock it down.
Irving against Walker. Back to Horford. Fires for 3. And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession. And here we can now take a look at how the ratio was between the 3s and the 2s last season for Boston.
And they were focused on spreading the floor and getting good looks from three-point range. That was the key to their offense. They put in a lot of work on the perimeter.
Here's Horford. He's making his presence felt offensively with his scoring average up there at almost 13 points a game. Charlotte has gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. Nobody near Williams. Charlotte no good that time either.
Yeah, trying to get going here, but that's an offer for the first 5 here to start the game.
And it's Brown missing. Hornets trail by 5. Outside, Kid Gilchrist. Pass to Walker. Williams sets a screen for Walker. Howard with a screen on Irving. Williams a screen. Just 5 on the clock. Batum, good.
And Batum really likes getting shots off from the interior, using those long arms of his well to release the shot over the defense.
Irving with the ball. He's coming off a 25-point game against Memphis.
Don't forget his rebounding work, too. They couldn't contain him on the glass.
And he makes good on the layup.
And what I like is that Irving is a confident scorer. Even amongst the trees, he finds a way to score the ball.
And Howard with the stuff.
And, guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. And the Celtics franchise with the league-leading 17 NBA championships, their last in 2008.
Yeah, and with the talent and assets they possess, they might be in the hunt for banner number 18 before you know it. One of the beasts of the East, without question.
Free throw good, Howard.
I love watching Howard still doing his thing out there. A nightly double-double threat.
And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Picked by Horford. Here's Smart. The shot's good on the assist by Horford.
Oh, man, how about that vision from Horford? I mean, it's all about hitting the open man. High-efficiency offense right there.
Picked by Williams. Now here's Batum, guarded by Smart. Batum attacking, stolen by Smart, and pushing it up. Here's Boston. Tatum leading the charge. Irving misses. Hornets trail by 4. Outside, Kid Gilchrist. From 13, and he hits the jump shot. Kid Gilchrist has got his first bucket of the night.
Oh, it's crucial for Kid Gilchrist that he nails these shots. Always working on expanding his game.
Smart dishes to Irving. Back to Smart. The 3. Bangs home the trifecta. Smart's got 5.
He might not have the long range ability of some other guys, but he will knock down open ones like that.
Here's Walker. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Don't you love the passion Walker plays with? An incredible athlete who somehow muscles in tough shots.
Irving against Walker. To the inside. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Outside, Kid Gilchrist. Back to Walker. Shoots from 14. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. Walker's got his second basket of the game. Now, here is Irving. He's one of the better scorers in the league, averaging almost 25 points a game.
Now, the length of Kid Gilchrist, that's what allows him to catch up with these shots. A sensational shot blocker from behind.
And Kyrie Irving very steady with the ball in his hands. Not a lot of turnovers for a player who handles the ball as much as he does.
Yeah, I mean, he makes great reads. Pick and roll, drives, kicks. He keeps his dribble low, but sometimes he has his dribble high. He's great at the pocket passes, great off pick and rolls, great at screens, and can space the floor.
And he makes the first. And this late in the year, a lot of teams have their eyes set on the playoffs, Chris, for the teams that will be in the postseason. What do you try to do to be at your best and peak when the playoffs begin?
To be your best, you must revisit the fundamentals. Most good teams go back to their training camp, and you go back through defensive drills and how to communicate. You start at square one, the ABCs all over, because you understand you have your moves, your shots, your chemistry. Now you just have to make sure you go back, you rehash things, you reset the goal and set the tone for your team, and then let everybody come that way. But usually the good teams get back to the basics before they get to the playoffs.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time, and he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one, that's for sure.
You're right, they are precise in how they ran that play. Exceptional timing, that's all good stuff.
Tatum passes to Horford. Hits it from three-point range. Horford's got 9 points.
Horford continues to show us that he loves to drain the three-point.
And Walker kicks to Kid Gilchrist. Williams a screen. The 11-footer. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Kid Gilchrist has got his second bucket of the night.
And it's just been an avalanche of points here in the early going.
Yeah, both teams have come out with solid offensive strategies. And then, of course, guys are finishing.
Here's Smart. And slam dunk by Smart.
I like Smart being aggressive right time, getting into the lane, using his power and speed to his advantage.
Hornets trail by 4. Outside, Walker. Takes it from 10. No good from Howard.
Not easy to miss a clean look inside like that, but he manages to do it.
In the corner, Tatum with it. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Tatum's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. For Charlotte, they've gone 7 of 13, just over 50% from the floor. Some good looks. And Batum kicks to Howard. The feed now to Walker. Left side, Williams. 5 to shoot. Good work defensively by Horford.
Aggressive move to the bucket, and the D is ready for it.
Tatum with it. Williams picks him up. Smart. They get it back. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I tell you what, it's like football, having a 3rd and 13 and them running up the gut. It just frustrates the defense. You have to hate giving up second chance points. It's demoralizing. After basically, you had to stop.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Ojale is checked in for Horford. Marcus Morris comes in for Tatum. And Terry Rozier subbed in for Irving.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
On the free throw, no good.
Oh, and the Celtics bringing in Brad Stevens as head coach in 2013. That same summer, they made their blockbuster trade with the Nets. 2 home run moves for their franchise. He's giving them a nice lift this quarter. The shots are falling for him.
Celtics leading by 7. There's the pick. Morris a screen. He dishes it to Smart. Over Zeller, and he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. Smart's got 9 points. And the Celtics signed Brad Stevens to a 6-year contract to lure him away from Butler in college basketball. Chris, they were very confident he'd be a great coach.
Well, they might want to pull out their pen and have him sign another 6-year deal real quick because he's already established himself as one of the league's top coaches.
Rozier the pass to Smart. Pass to Ojale. In the corner, it's Morris. Kicks it to Baines. And it's blocked.
And registering one of the highest verticals at the NBA Combine, Zeller can send your shot back.
And on the glass so far, it hadn't even been close.
Pick by Zeller. Here's Walker. That's another one for him. His 5th in just 7 shots.
Oh, this guy, his motor is always the same. No matter what the score of the game is, he always remains aggressive.
Here's Smart. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And at 6'4", 220, Marcus Smart with terrific strength for a combo guard, Greg.
He can just flat out bully most guards and even hold his own against the bigs. Beyond, though, that physical stature, it's his mentality that makes him special. He's a fire breather, just the type of player the Celtics look for.
And that one falls for Smart.
At 6'4", 220 pounds, Marcus Smart might be the most physically imposing point guard in the league, especially with his fiery approach to the game.
Monroe's checked in for the Celtics. And so he makes both from the line. And the Hornets team that, while they have added rotation players via the draft, they haven't been able to draft a star to build around yet.
No, well, and with the Hornets, their best pick has been Kemba Walker back in 2011. I mean, they've traded away a lot of their picks right after making them. However, that might change as they lucked out with Monk falling to them.
The shot by Monk is no good. Celtics leading by 9. Here's Rozier. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Memphis. Offensive rebound, Monroe. And the lead now, double digits on that bucket. Monroe's got his first basket of the night.
Already, they've piled up 8 second chance points.
Got a piece of it. Stolen by Smart. Here's Ojale. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a 3-point play.
And the story here, Kevin, early on, is how well they've shot the basketball.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
And of course, we'd all like to see his percentage at the line improve, but he just does not have the touch right now. He's in the 60s.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
And that one misses. And part of analyzing a game can be offering forth critique of players or officials or organizations. Chris, how do you find that balance of candor and yet not being too critical, being too harsh?
Great question. The way I try to have an honest balance is to remember how I felt when it happened to me.
Interesting.
When you're a player, if someone comes with hard, credible evidence, I mean, it's true. You can't take anything personal. But when guys are just criticizing the same jump shot that you made last play, I'm not that guy. So, you know, I try to keep a balance by being fair and honest, first of all, to the fans of that city and that state, and letting them know how great their team is, but also that maybe their team is playing lazy. Maybe look at this effort not out there by the floor. But also, in a blowout game, I also give the team that's losing by 30 just as much respect as I do the winning team, because those guys work just as hard. This is just a specific night they didn't play that well. So I just try to make every game as special as it is to me, from being a kid growing up to being able to play in the league, but then also just being fair. You know, benefit of the doubt first, but if you do 2 or 3 stupid things, then you're a stupid player that night. You know, just being honest, having fun. And I've gotten some calls from players, and I don't care. You know, I'm not hard to find. And I just try to have fun, be honest, and no hard feelings, man.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Off the pick, Lamb, good. Lamb's got his second bucket of the night.
Such a good in-between game. Lamb with the natural instincts for mid-range, plus the pure touch on the shot.
There's the pass to Ojale. Here's Rozier. He kicks it to Monroe. The fader. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. And so it's Boston in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. And they've done a phenomenal job down low, so many of their points coming right at the rim. We'll return shortly. And Dwight Howard, a lightning rod figure around the league, subject to a lot of criticism, but he says he takes comfort in playing the game he still loves.
Basketball, this is my passion. You know, on the court, it's my sanctuary. You know, I want to have fun. The reason I play is to win championships. I take this game very serious.
It's an interesting concept that Dwight has, to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a burning passion to win a championship. He's been in the finals, and this is a guy that's got still a lot to shoot for, he feels, in his career.
That's a great point, Kevin. And the challenge for Dwight is how to balance how serious he is and how passionate he is with having that fun on the court that he's after.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And the Celtics guys, what jumps out to you, stats-wise?
I tell you what, that first quarter, you can see the game plan is a commitment to offensive rebounding.
Oh, yeah, this is how they squeezed out extra possessions and captured the early lead.
Rozier's out there with Brown. Then it's Marcus Morris. Then there's Monroe. And it's Ojale in at the 4 spot. That's the Boston 5.
And how about the setup? Man, Morris keeping his head up. Beautiful assist.
To the left side wing. Zeller dishes to Monk. And he's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming up.
Yeah, terrific play right there. Great strength to finish through the contact.
And maybe not as highly touted as some other guards that went before him, but Malik Monk can be scary on the floor. He can get hot like no other, and once he's dialed in, the points just seem to flow.
Free throw drops for Monk. And Greg, as you said, Monk has that ability to take over with his shooting.
I mean, Monk looks to get going with his scoring at all times, and he's just got that shooter's mentality where all shots are good shots. That can be a positive and a negative, but I prefer he have that aggressive mentality when it comes to scoring the basketball.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. Those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. And there are times where you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players.
And they continue to control the glass.
Celtics leading by 9. Here's Rozier. Drops it in from 11 feet.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
Charlotte's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Zeller, a screen on Brown. And Lamb kicks to Kaminsky. Clock at 6. Here's Monk. No good from outside.
He hit 1 3 in the first, but the well has been totally dry for him in the second.
We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. There's the pick. Here's Morris. That one wide left.
Well executed, great rhythm. You've got to finish that one.
Yeah, coming off of a good pick, you want to get that. When he gets the separation he needs, I know he would love to have that one back.
Here's Lamb, and slam dunk by Lamb.
Great leaping ability. Gets off the floor very quickly. This is why Coach wants Lamb to attack the rim more often.
Rozier kicks to Morris. From 13, rebounded by Lamb. Hornets trail by 9. He feeds it to Zeller. Passes it to Lamb. From the arc. And it's Monk that time on the assist from Jeremy Lamb. 9 points for Malik Monk.
But if you thought the D was going to tighten up on him here in the second quarter, think again.
Rozier the pass to Monroe. Morris outside. Got it. Good job in the low post. Morris has got 6.
When Morris gets it down in the paint, he's deadly, using his big arms to get these shots up and in.
Pick by Zeller. Monk kicks to Lamb. Here's Graham. His three-pointer's off the mark.
Yeah, just a solid job on the backboard. They are really controlling the inside.
Screen by Monroe. Here's Rozier. The kick out to Brown. Over Lamb. And it's Brown missing. Hornets trail by 8. And here is Monk. 9 points in the game so far. Now Kaminsky. There's the dish to Zeller. Shoots over Monroe. And there's another one for the Hornets.
Well, in college, Zeller showed great ability to face up and knock down mid-range jumpers. He's just now doing it more consistently in the pros.
Screen by Monroe. Brown right side. It's stolen by Lamb. Feeds it to Graham. That shot no good. So the Celtics will take it the other way. Last time they met was in Charlotte, where they beat the Hornets.
And the previous meeting was a win for them and a huge day for the bench. The reserves really stepped it up with their scoring.
Yeah, when the second unit came in, I mean, they provided a ton of energy, lots of hustle points, and that just had a snowball effect.
Hornets trail by 9.
When you watch the Hornets play, it seems like they play with a chip on their shoulder. I mean that in a good way. They play like they have something to prove. They have a very self-driven team.
And Zeller kicks to Monk. 6 to shoot. Fires for 3. A rebound by the Celtics.
And you know what? He's just not on his game, no doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
Brown, good. Just as you said, win or lose, you know that this Hornet team is going to battle you for all 4 quarters. They don't give up.
Well, a lot of that camaraderie has developed on this roster because of that. They know they don't have superstars and big names, but it doesn't deter them. They know they have a small margin of error.
So Charlotte calls timeout. They're first.
Yeah, you can sense he wasn't happy with how things are going here. Probably looking to change it up a bit.
Well, you have to review your matchups, make sure you're maximizing the potential of each one.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Al Horford's checked in for Monroe. Tatum comes in for Marcus Morris. And Kyrie Irving subbed in for Terry Rozier. Howard with it. He had a 24-point outing in their last game against Chicago.
And his shot blocking. If that isn't a man amongst boys, you could just throw the phrase out of the window.
Here's Irving. Horford sets a screen for Irving. They set the pick. Dishes to Horford. Back to Irving. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The shot's good on the assist by Horford. Irving's got the lead up to 13 now for the Celtics. Irving against Walker. There's a screen by Williams. Kid Gilchrist, no luck.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
Now here's Irving. He's got 6. Horford up top. Wide open look. Rebounded by Howard.
Look, he had all the time in the world to get the jumper off. Maybe it was too much time.
Will it go? And he makes the bucket through contact and gets the whistle too.
You can't shake Walker. He's just a master at cashing in on these and-one opportunities. Well, look, it's easy to see how important Kemba Walker is to this offense. His ability to score, but his impact goes beyond that. He does a great job of creating movement and opening up lanes for his teammates. He facilitates without turning over the ball.
Ojale is checked in for the Celtics. Marcus Smart comes in for Jaylen Brown.
One shot, mind the lanes.
And with Kemba Walker, the Hornets are always one of the better teams in terms of limiting turnovers, and how he is able to take care of the ball is a huge part of that.
Well, fans often overlook how important it is to have a point guard who doesn't give away possessions. Walker is mostly a scoring point guard, but has become an all-around star with the completeness of his game.
From the low block, nice shot by Smart. Smart's got 13.
Oh, he's getting after it offensively. Smart, putting up some points.
Walker dishes to Howard. And it's sent back by Horford. Here's the break. Pass to Irving. They set the screen. Picked by Horford. Now here's Smart. He's guarded closely. Off the iron that time. Hornets trail by 12. Here's Kid Gilchrist. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Now here's Tatum. He's covered by Kid Gilchrist. Here's Irving. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
You see the cleverness of Irving on that play, able to get his shot off despite getting whacked.
While some are still speculating as to why Kyrie wanted out, the reality is, and it's this case with all great players, he feels like he's good enough to be the man on a team that can contend for a championship. And you might question how he went about it, but he's basically been a pro in his approach, and now he's got the chance. And there is going to be a lot of discussion over Irving's decision to want out for a long time. And what he does the next few years may end up defining his legacy. He is all in on himself, and it could pay off huge or fizzle out.
The feed to Smart. Here's Horford. Scored the bucket. He's made 5 so far, shooting a very clean 5 of 7.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Charlotte calls timeout.
You know, and if you remember in college with the Gators, you know, Al Horford played power forward. Power forward, center, they're the same now, but he's been out of position his entire NBA career, so you have to give him credit for playing tough night in and night out.
And as the league has moved to emphasize skill, it seems like things, Chris, are tipping Horford's way as far as him manning that center position.
Yeah, but you still have to be able to score inside. And so for Horford, we saw in the playoffs, you have to make your presence known inside. Though you're a big fella, you have to average a lot of rebounds, or you have to be physical inside. You still have to make your presence and your size known.
And a look here at the scoring trend over the last several months for Lamb.
Look, sometimes you go up, sometimes down, and the trend has been on the downward side in terms of his average points per game. And a variety of factors can be the culprit. And a lot of times you focus on the efficiency more than just pure point output.
And here's Walker. He had 31 points in the win against Chicago. He dishes it to Williams. Down to 5 on the shot clock. They need this. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
And they may be leaning a little too heavily on the three-pointer when there are better looks to be had inside.
Irving passes to Horford. That one goes in. Horford's got 4 points in the quarter.
Oh, look at Irving go to work off the ball screen and his man. He's always alert, constantly scanning the floor for his teammates.
Williams, a screen on Irving. Pass to Batum. Kicks to Williams. To the paint. Howard in the post, guarded by Horford. And the whistle blows as the basket counts, and a three-point play chance right here. One free throw coming up. The Hornets have only one missed free throw. They've had 5 attempts and made 4 of them.
And taking a look at their free throw statistics on the season, right around 74%.
One shot. One shot.
That one misses for Howard. Chris, it's hard at times to see just how effective a post player is on the defensive end beyond the blocks. What's the one thing that shows you a post player is doing an excellent job of defending for their team?
Well, look at the penetration of a great guard. Right now, guards are playing at such a high level and they're quicker. So when you see a guard attack, notice if that big man comes over and he has both feet planted. He doesn't have to get a charge, doesn't have to block, but does he stay vertical and does he get over there fast enough that the offensive guard that was trying to score can't get his shot up and has to change, either pass the ball or continue his dribble. Right now, a lot of defense is done by just being in the correct spot at the right time because you're not going to block the shot or you just want to deter the player from coming in. And so I would say watch how that player owns the paint defensively, not necessarily how he blocks shots, but by where he is on his position, can he help stop penetration from guards coming up top.
Oh, that's a great tutorial. Here's Kid Gilchrist, and Charlotte again with the bucket. 43 seconds left in the first half. Now Smart. He's got 13. Picked by Horford. Irving from long range. It's rebounded by Kid Gilchrist. Hornets trail by 12. Batum wide open. He fires. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits. Tatum with it, and it's Howard picking him up. Tatum with it. He's against Williams. He can't get it to go.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
Screen by Howard. And here's Walker outside. And no good trying to get that one. And so it's the Boston Celtics up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. Their strategy has been clear tonight. Work the ball inside, get shots in the paint, and now they are scoring with ease. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Coach Clifford. What was the biggest problem for your guys in the first half?
Well, you know what? We're a defensive team first, and we've been good defensively. We've been organized. We weren't that in that first half, and that's what we got to concentrate to get the game going back our way.
See if you revert back to your form in the second half. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, and we'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. Al Horford had it going on in the first quarter. He had 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Taking a look at the Celtics, Shaq, what do you think?
I don't think anyone expected to see such numbers from the bench. You know, I'm impressed. It was what they needed, the jolt they needed, Ernie. Wow, I never knew their bench was. Matter of fact, I don't even know any of their players coming off the bench. Man, keep going, bench guys.
Kenny, what was your takeaway on Charlotte?
Well, the way I see it, they're losing this game because they're being out-rebounded. You can't give up this kind of differential and expect to remain competitive. So what do? You commit more guys to the glass, guards included. You make it a priority that if you do ultimately lose this game, it's not because you didn't rebound.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan and crew, standing by courtside.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. Al Horford has been sensational.
Yeah, I mean, he really gave them a boost in that first half, shot way above his average.
Oh, this is like found money, completely unexpected, but it feels great when it happens.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. On the court for the Hornets, Batum and Kid Gilchrist, the rangy wings. Inside, Williams at the 4, Howard in the middle. And it's Walker in at point guard. And Kid Gilchrist kicks to Walker. On the wing, Batum fires from deep. Rebounded by the Celtics. Horford's got 6 rebounds in the game. Irving with it. He's picked up by Walker. Horford dishes to Tatum. On its way from Irving for 2. The good-looking shot from the wing. Irving's got the first basket of the second half. That one for the Celtics. Walker against Irving. Screen by Howard. Batum for 3. Good. And the nice assist for Williams. Batum's got his 3rd basket of the night right there. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Guys, with the Hornets' length and mobility at the 2 through 4 positions, the team switches a lot defensively. Coach Steve Clifford said, you have to deal with mismatches at times, but it makes defense simpler. With those guys, they're all big enough, strong enough, and competitive enough that they're going to battle. Kevin?
And having that kind of versatility on defense is huge. DA, thank you so much.
One shot, behind the lanes.
Well, the one thing you notice about the Celtics, they look for players with a chip on their shoulder. They want players with that inner fire, that love competition.
To the middle, he's looking for Howard and finds him. And Howard with the stuff.
Well, when Batum, Kevin, spots a wide-open teammate, he zips the rock to him quickly. Just exceptional vision.
Irving passes to Baines. Inside, Brown. A beautiful reverse layup. Brown's got 7.
Now, look, that's just great composure at the rack. Think about it. He just slipped over to the other side, laid in the reverse under some intense pressure.
And there's the pass to Batum. He kicks to Williams. Back to Batum. Howard setting the pick for Walker. Kyrie Irving with the rebound.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Another shot, and the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
Oh, you can't forget about Horford. I mean, carving out space inside for the putback.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
One shot, behind the lanes.
And that one falls for Horford. And with sponsors coming to NBA jerseys this season, Hornets fans have to be pleased with their initial sponsor. Makes perfect sense when an owner also owns a shoe brand.
Yeah, Brand Jordan as the owner sponsor just made too much sense. You like how seamless and unobtrusive it's been. If you have to have a jersey sponsor, you can do a lot worse than the Hornets.
And the rebounding has been key to their success here tonight.
Oh, you're exactly right. It's simple arithmetic. More boards means more possessions, means more opportunities to score. Simple arithmetic. Well, he's played a smart and strong game. His field goal percentage proves it.
And the Hornets call time here. And Al Horford, a cornerstone player. Chris, he's that straw that certainly stirs the drink.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know he's a winner. I mean, anybody can remember his career from his days at the University of Florida where he won a championship.
Yeah, he needs to tell his guys to just box out with some energy. That's basic basketball. They've been lazy on the backboard and have allowed way too many second chance points. And a moment to see numbers for Batum. He's putting up about 12 points a game, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. And, guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
Well, yeah, lately he's been overachieving a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things to come.
Took the opportunity when he saw it. And it's 6 points for Williams.
Boy, they've been terrific from beyond here in the second.
Irving kicks to Baines. The Celtics working the ball around now. Picked by Horford. Brown against Batum. And Horford wide open. He shoots. He can't get that one to fall. Now Charlotte takes it the other way. And they're off to Philadelphia after this game as they'll take on the 76ers. That matchup falls in the middle game of this 3-game trip. Howard dishes to Kid Gilchrist. Williams kicks to Walker. Screen by Howard. Shot from the wing. Batum, good. Batum's got 5 points in the quarter.
And you can't give Batum room to fire off that screen. He'll torch you every time for making that mistake.
Horford sets a screen for Irving. The screen from Brown. Tatum kicks to Horford. And here's Brown outside. The offensive rebound. And it's Horford with the extra effort.
Well, the reason Horford is scoring the ball at a consistent clip, it's because of his shot selection. Efficient. He's so good at taking his time and letting the game come to him naturally.
And Walker kicks to Williams. No good with the triple.
A defender nowhere near him, and he still can't hit it. He wants that one back.
Here's Baines. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Irving for 3. That's in. He's 7 for 12 now in the game.
Oh, I love seeing Irving get cooking. He's an elite scorer who can fill it up fast.
Howard with a screen on Irving. Here's Walker. Passes it to Howard. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker. Walker's got 3 assists tonight.
Well, he's doing his best to get them back into this game. He's been money from the field.
Now here's Tatum. Defense is right there. To the left wing. Puts up a 3. Horford no luck.
One made 3 for him for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
Wasted no time on that one. 16 points for Kemba Walker.
I mean, really, like whenever Walker nails those jimmies, his stroke is just beautiful.
Horford with it. He's got 18. Brown the pass to Baines. Here's Horford. And they come right back with their own 3-pointer. Horford's got 21 in the game.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Charlotte calls timeout. And Chris, it's a players' league, and yet the officials, of course, have an impact on games. I'm thinking of a certain Game 6 back in 2002. In your opinion, how does the league ensure greater consistency with the officiating of games?
Well, I promised myself, Kevin, thanks for bringing up 2002, that I would never think about that aloud. You know, I'm going to have to go lay on somebody's couch after we do this game right here. But I think the league just has to be transparent. They have to let fans know when the ref has messed up. We're all human, so I think it comes into play when you aren't transparent, when you aren't honest with your fans, because we have the smartest fans of any sport, I believe. And so I think transparency is good, but human error is always going to be in there as long as it doesn't go back to the type of human error we saw in 2002.
But, Chris, I do sense that is a goal of theirs, and bit by bit they're getting toward that goal.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I believe that our league has done some great jobs when it comes to advancing referees and how the game is officiated. When you look at, not only do we have the referee center back in New York, where the referees now can go and get help, and the game is faster, and also, you know, we have 3 refs on the floor, and so and we have the best conditioned refs, and so I think the game is just going to be better because we have passionate refs, we have passionate officials, and passionate players, and we're going to work together to make sure that this game is the best for every fan to be presented to, and also that every player has a chance to win a championship and don't have their heart broken.
Walker's shot is off. Boston leading by 20. Brown kicks to Morris. Out to the wing. Rozier the pass to Horford. And the dunk by Horford.
Oh, don't get in his way. Horford not to be denied when he gets in that close.
Now here's Walker. He's got 16. The dish to Kaminsky. He feeds it to Walker. They set the pick. Pass to Graham. Back falls. Nice feed that time from Walker. Graham's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Just amazing work from Walker. Really zipping the rock fast to the wide open man.
Brown, good.
Oh, and that's his second three-pointer this half. I mean, he's really cooking now.
Charlotte's got more than a 50% success rate on their three-pointers since halftime. They're 4 of 7. Pick by Zeller. Lamb with the ball. Picked up by Brown. They double him with Horford. And a wide open look for Zeller. And Charlotte again with the bucket.
Now that time, the defender may have played Kaminsky to pick and pop, but Kaminsky held his ground, therefore the effective screen.
Rozier kicks to Horford. Brown outside. Monroe outside. Here's Rozier. 6 points for him. That one misses. Outside, Walker. They set the pick. Pick by Zeller. Here's the 3. And Boston with the rebound.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Here's Morris. Here's Monroe. Now on the play, basket counts, so it'll be a 3-point play chance.
Love the grit on the offensive glass. Those are just effort points.
And he's got his first chance at the line here. The Celtics making a switch here. Smart's checked in. And a switch here also for Charlotte. Monk's checked in for Walker.
One shot behind the lanes.
And the Celtics gave up 4 players to get 1 in Kyrie Irving, but they already had so much depth. They could afford to sacrifice a bit for a superstar just entering his prime.
And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
And hate to make a mistake there, have to stay focused.
You're so right. Trying to shrink the deficit, sometimes you push too hard to make something happen.
Over to the wing. And here is Horford. He's got 23. Picked by Horford. Rozier kicks to Horford. The Celtics keeping it alive. Fresh 24. Monroe, no good. The Hornets have gone 8 of 14 on their shot attempts here in the third. Some pretty nice work. Now here's Lamb. He's guarded closely. Here's Zeller. Charlotte again missing.
And really for the Celtics, just a wealth of assets, but in reality, only so much playing time to go around. Sooner or later, you knew they'd make a move, and I think they got the best player in the trade.
Now Monk. 9 points in the game so far. Zeller dishes to Monk. Pick by Zeller. Here's Lamb. Rebound by Greg Monroe. Monroe's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Smart with the ball. He's got 13. Horford kicks to Monroe. Over Kaminsky. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in. Monroe's got 5 points now in the quarter. Charlotte's gone to the three-point shot 8 times already in the second half and hit 4 of them. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Pick by Zeller. They set the screen. 5 on the clock. Here's Kaminsky. Another miss, and they desperately need a bucket.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those two things that he possesses.
Got a hand on it. 1:30 left here in the third quarter. Pick by Zeller. Feeds to Monk. Lets it go with a 3. And he's good on the 3 ball. Monk's got 12.
And Monk's just got a good feel for kind of how to exploit the defense, especially about how quickly he gets his shot off after getting the pass.
Here's Horford. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
And not quite as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half, sticking to the high percentage shots, playing smart with the lead.
And this is his second trip to the line in the game. And the Hornets making a change here. Batum's checked in.
One shot. One shot.
Well, if you watch the Hornets over the past few seasons, it's easy to see how disciplined they are. They don't turn the ball over on simple plays. They never get too ahead of themselves and give away possessions.
Pick by Zeller. Off the pick. And the jam by Nicholas Batum.
And really, Batum is so adept at draining these shots off the drive, using his speed and athletic frame to easily coast to the rim.
Now here's Smart. He's got 13. Rebounded by Lamb. Lamb's got 4 rebounds now tonight. There's 21 seconds left to play in the third. Uses the glass to finish the layup. 8 points for him.
And so far going for more of an inside presence here in the second half, getting away from the three-point shot.
Morris kicks to Horford. Nice open look, but it's no good. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Celtics lead by 21. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Hornets trail by 21. Morris is out there with Tatum. Then it's Kyrie Irving, and it's Rozier in at the shooting guard position. That's the Boston 5. Hangs in the air, and it's Howard laying it in. Howard's got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for Charlotte.
And you need an army to keep Howard away from the basket. He's so superb at snatching up offensive rebounds.
Here's Morris. The shot from the low post is good.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
You know the saying, numbers don't lie. You can see it up there on the scoreboard.
Now here's Lamb, covered by Irving. Monk, no one around him, drops in the tray.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Rozier the pass to Irving. Fourth quarter still young, just over a minute play. And the shot is good.
I admire the confidence of Irving, always on the attack, superb at penetrating towards the rim.
Lamb dishes to Howard. Now here's Lamb. He's tightly guarded. Good work defensively by Morris. Boston leading by 20. Here's Irving. Offensive rebound. Charlotte's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Here's Monk, and it's sent back by Irving. And something we see now in the modern NBA, Chris, is that players will try and recruit other players in free agency, sometimes almost leading up to free agency. How often do you think that happens now, and how is that, say, different from when you played?
It's a lot different from when I played. I think guys wanted to play together, but we did not recruit or try to play together with each other because of the way that the rules were in collective bargaining and because of the way the game was at that time. At that time, even if you had a friend that was your very close friend off the court, you wanted to beat him for bragging rights on the court. Back then, it was more of, can my team beat your team? Not can we play together. I tell you what, with friends that I had in the league at that time, that would have been pretty cool to play with some of my friends that I think were great players. But I just think it's just been a line in the sand. It's just changed. I think a lot of it's changed because we're playing basketball at younger ages. Guys are playing and traveling the country and know each other from ages 10, 11, and 12, so they have honest, genuine friendships and really want to play together. And so I don't really think it's a problem, but it's interesting watching these super teams and how all of this is developing. It definitely didn't happen in my day, and I'm just now, I won't say getting used to it, but I'm just now recognizing it. Man, it's okay to play with your friends, I guess.
Some changes for Charlotte. Williams comes in for Monk, and it's Kemba Walker in for Lamb. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. Over in the corner, Brown. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got 6 assists now in the game.
Well, how about the quickness of that release? Brown just draining that catch-and-shoot jumper with ease.
Outside, Kid Gilchrist. Rebound, Boston. Tatum's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Dishes it to Irving. Pass to Ojale. The feed to Baines. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
Anyone can hit a shot that wide open. The defense has to step up if they want any shot at winning this one.
Irving against Walker. He dishes it to Kid Gilchrist. Charlotte moving the ball around. Howard kicks to Kid Gilchrist. 4 on the shot clock. Over Tatum. They grab their own miss. Howard can't hit.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim.
Just increasing their advantage, and right now they're in a zone on both ends.
Oh, that's why you see them flexing a little bit. They're feeling good about how they've dominated.
Walker the pass to Howard. Kicks to Batum. To stop the run, and he lays it up and in. Batum's got 9 points here in the second half.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
To the left side wing. Here's Tatum. That shot off the mark. Some solid defense from Kid Gilchrist.
It's been a rough game for him, but it won't sting too bad as long as they hang on to the lead.
Walker against Irving. Howard dishes to Walker. Over in the corner, Williams. A 3-pointer off the mark.
Not quite enough defense that time around. Just lucky he was off.
A nice shot by Tatum.
And I tell you what, Tatum is proving to be an all-around scorer of the basketball. He can do it all.
There's a screen by Williams. And Walker kicks to Williams. Shoots the 3. Another miss by Williams. Boston's gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. Irving against Walker. Irving attacking. Tatum wide open. He fires one from outside off the mark.
Now look, if he can start turning some of these misses into makes, their lead is going to take a big jump.
And he comes up with the deuce. And it's 8 points for Williams.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
The screen from Brown. Irving kicks to Baines. Batum against Brown. Goes up the baseline. And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
He can go inside, he can shoot it, he can dominate on the fast break. And tonight, Brown is doing it all.
And Walker kicks to Howard. Down low. Kid Gilchrist, no luck. And it's the Celtics ball. They're on a 14-6 run. Here's Brown. The kick out to Irving. There's the pick. It's interesting to see the impact of technology on the game, too. I heard LeBron James. A lot of players now review footage on a tablet when they check out their play.
Well, yeah, you know, back in the older days, a lot of us went to the locker room and you would go in the room and watch it on video. So it's the same type premise. It's just that, you know, technology is better today. I mean, every guy wants to do it. You want to know what you're doing well, what you're doing wrong. You're all a coach on the floor. You're the quarterback, and LeBron especially is the quarterback of his offense. So it doesn't surprise me before that he's studying tape.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Here's Walker. Rebounded by the Celtics. Here's Tatum. And there's the pass to Brown. Off target from three-point range. The Hornets shooting only 35% in the fourth quarter. The offense looking a little rickety. A shot by Batum, no good. The Celtics shooting has been terrific. 54% on the game. Irving, count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed assist. Irving's got 14 points now in the second half. Walker against Irving. There's a screen by Williams. Outside, Walker. Here's Howard, knocked away. And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way. So a whole new group on the floor now for Charlotte. Boston's gotten off 4 three-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. There's a good screen. Ogilvy, the tip in on the offensive rebound.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Carter Williams, the pass to Zeller. Monk kicks to Kaminsky. Some nice passing here by Charlotte. Just 5 to shoot. Zeller dishes to Carter Williams. And that time, also a missed shot.
And I think that one could have easily have fallen for him.
13 feet away. From deep, gets the three-pointer to fall.
And certainly they are not hesitating, letting it fly from deep here in the second half.
Chris, as we all know, you grew up in the Detroit area. It's a town that has seen glory days and hard times. Talk about what it means to you to come from Detroit and what you see in the future for the Motor City.
Well, it means everything to me to be a Detroiter. I think that's what made me successful in my career, is that I took on the heart of the city and the fact that it's a hard-hat town, a blue-collar town, and you have to earn your keep, and you have to wish positive for the future. And so it's been great coming from there, and it's hard times being from there. You know that we're resilient, and so it's great to see positive energy enter back into the city. It's great to see the Pistons play in the city for the first time in over 20 years, and so I see the future is bright for Detroit because Detroiters are always there, and as long as we have the people, everything else will be great.
You and I broadcast the last game in the Palace, and I'm wondering what you think the impact will be with the Pistons, as you just talked about, in their brand new building.
I think the impact would be great, but for fans. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to see the city. I wanted to see our team play. And I only lived a few miles from downtown, but about 30 or 40 miles from the Palace. And so I'm happy that the kids that supported the team, that dreams about being a Piston one day, I'm glad they finally get to go to a game. I'm glad that Detroit finally gets to really call the Pistons their own. What is it going to do? It's going to infuse positivity. And so hopefully for everyone, it's a positive environment.
And he sinks the second.
The younger brother of Tyler Zeller and former Suns big man Luke Zeller, Cody has a good chance to be the best of all three.
Outside Irving. Lays it up and banks it in. Irving's got 16 here in the second half.
Still attacking, building on this lead coming down the stretch.
Well, what I like about it most is he's doing it efficiently.
Pick by Zeller. They set the screen. Irving against Carter Williams. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
Well, Cody Zeller isn't looking to impress anyone with this play, but he is a solid contributor on the floor. I mean, he runs the floor well. He's very good around the rim. Great efficiency on the touches close in that he does get.
Shooting two.
And he can't get the first one. And with Zeller, it is that efficiency with the ball that you really like about his game every season, Chris. He gets more and more comfortable helping carry the scoring load.
Well, Zeller does a good job of always having his hands ready and being in a position to score. He's great at finishing on those dump-off passes. He knows how to roll and finish strong.
And he's good on the second. And you look at the level of talent in the NBA now, some great players. But we've heard others say the league is watered down. How do you view that statement?
Well, I don't think you can compare eras. I think it's great to argue and have fun with them and debate them, but, you know, very sincerely, unless someone can play against each other, it's just a wasted argument. There's different eras, there's different rules. Think about how many threes Larry Bird shot per game. 1.5, 2. What if he could let it fly 10 times a game? We'd be talking about a different player there. So I think times, eras, the physical play of the 80s, of the 90s, I just know that players will handle it differently. Hand checking, the way that we call flagrant one fouls. It's a different league, and so I just choose to celebrate the players that we have now. They're the evolution in my mind. They're kind of the culmination of all the players that have come before them. So I just enjoy the game the way it is now.
Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Ogilvy. Boston's gotten 3 of their 6 three-pointers to fall here in the fourth.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Boston.
2 great rebounding teams.
And these guys worked just a little bit harder tonight, and that was the edge they needed.
And this will now push it to a total of 44 games in the win column on the season. And, you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Horford.
Well, he showed what it takes to be a great rebounder tonight. Fighting for position, boxing out, never getting outworked down low.
Monk, he kicks to Zeller. That one drops for him.
Look, he has a good feel for the painted area. Zeller, never in a rush, very deliberate with his moves.
Passes to Smart. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Nader the pass to Irving. Nice ball movement by Boston. From deep. That one doesn't go. And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks very much, Kyrie. Nice win tonight. What was your thought process coming into the game?
You know, I was just going out there trying to compete on every play, trying to play as much defense as possible. You know, just sticking to our game plan. We had a game plan going in, and we executed.
Got it done at both ends of the floor, Kyrie. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for being with us. See you next time.